me fire, give me that which I desire. All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV and the Raid Furniture Mart Late Model Tour. Tonight, it's the Super Lates here in the Community Barbershop 150, live from North Wilkesboro. I'm Dean Doucette, joined tonight by Mr. Randy McCanny. Randy, a little North Wilkesboro in the Super Lates. How are you feeling about that?
Should be a very interesting race tonight. You got a hot track, 78 degrees for air temp, but track temp's creeping up there, 127 degrees. Going to be some slipping and sliding around. Should be an interesting race.
Absolutely should be an interesting race, there's no doubt about that. And it was interesting. Last week, we had Brian Cole leading, seemingly in control of the race. Here comes Austin Purnell on this slow chase down, a tenth a lap, maybe less. Over time, he gets there, two to go, and he gets up there and wins the race. Austin Miller takes him over with one to go. Randy, it was so exciting out there. I don't see Austin Miller on the track tonight. That's a shame. But we're back in the super lates. You got Brian Cole leading in the points. You got guys like Ryman Cassel right behind him here. You know, Sexton's out here. So there's going to be some competition. Werderman back on the track tonight. Going to be an interesting night. I can't wait to see what these guys do here at what is a bit of a dangerous track for these super lates.
Yeah, definitely in practice and the warm up session here, see a lot of loose cars. It's definitely line sensitive. You got to be right on your marks. You got to take care of your tires early with the hot, slick conditions, and hopefully halfway through the run, you can really start pushing them.
Yeah, and absolutely. That's what we're going to be looking at closely here tonight is number one, can you keep the car under control? Can you stay out of any wrecks? And number two, that last half of the race and these pit stops that we talk about so often, when to make them, when not to make them. These guys, making different decisions has cost certain drivers and helped others. It's usually the early pit stop that prevails here. Randy, what are your thoughts here tonight? I mean, could tire wear perhaps come in and be a factor?
I absolutely think it will. At some point, we get one good long run, and tire wear is definitely going to change the whole complexion of the race. And we get into any kind of green flag pit stops. Getting onto this pit road is probably one of the trickiest that these guys will encounter this season.
We seem to be having a little technical difficulty. What are you seeing out on the track right now, Randy? Nothing on the track at the moment?
Nothing on the track.
We just work on that a little bit. Race about to start here at North Wilkesboro. How has your experience been at North Wilkesboro here? Do you have some or some racing experience on the track, Randy?
Not in the supers, but in trucks, Xfinity, the Cup car. You hug that low line and it gets really bumpy. It can upset your car. Like I said, with the hot temperature of the track, it's greasy. You got to really be gentle on the throttle coming off the corner.
All right, cars loading up here. Technical difficulties out of the way. Everybody getting gritted up and ready to go racing. That brings us to our K-T.org qualifying results here. Let's get a look in on them. Actually, we'll go to the grid here. Dylan Connor on the point in the number 92. turning a nice blistering lap right out of Virginia. He is. Brian Cole, points leader, starts on the outside of row number one. He'll be looking to continue his dominance over both cars this season so far. Austin Purnell starts in row number two, along with Ryman Cassel. It's Caleb Dyer and Alex Sexton in row three. Adam Newton making his return to the number five here, along with Werdeman. So row number four here is the returning row of Werdeman and Newton. Good to see both of them out here. Hines and Cole in row number five. It's Walker Cole and Scott Olson in row six, and Colin Jay and Brad Ebley bringing up the rear here tonight. You look over these cars, Randy, you got any favorites out there, paint scheme wise? A couple of sharp looking cars out there.
Some really beautiful cars, true late model paint schemes. There's quite a few nice cars. As far as drivers, I was watching Austin Purnell in practice. He was quick in practice, seemed to really kind of be able to control his car more than some. Caleb Dyer, I think he's going to be one towards the end that's really going to come on.
I like those picks. A tough group here, top to bottom here tonight, really. Almost anybody's capable of getting up here and winning, but favorites are got to be on the front row. Connor and Cole leading them down, getting ready to get this thing started, and the Community Barbershop 150 is underway.
Great start there by Connor. Got a real good jump on that start, take the lead.
You're already seeing this tight car here. Guys pinched on the bottom, the preferred line usually. A little tighter, maybe off of four a little better, and now it is. You see Austin Purnell, a guy that you already talked about, rolling that bottom underneath the Ryman Cassel. Cassel trying to hold him off.
Yeah, and when you get a car stuck up on the outside of you, you really need to get off those corners and sweep out to the wall. So it's really pinching that car down on the inside, and there you can see him getting.
Oh, and he's wiped Purnell into the inside wall. He wiggled right, he wiggled left, and ended up in that wall. Tragedy early as the broadcaster curse strikes again.
Yeah, I feel bad, but that's exactly what I was talking about. You get a guy on the inside, you can kind of pinch him down there so he can't get that run off the corner, and that's exactly what happens. A little wobble here, and you get that hospital hop going.
You can see it's just so tight that the guys are trying to turn, cranking that wheel, and then eventually it breaks loose there. It was slight, but that pinch down you're talking about, it looks tough. Usually quite easy down on the low line here, and it's going to be different here tonight. We got early stops already.
Yeah, it's surprising to get some tires on, maybe fuel an issue, that this might be able to make them finish the race with fuel, trying to make it on this stop.
Yeah, I mean, the super lates are notorious for this. If you can make it from here, which chances, if you get this sucker filled up, you might be able to do it. You get out here, and you might be able to finish. No more pit stops necessary. We've seen it time and time again. So Cassel, Sexton, Kennedy, Ebley on pit road. Austin Purnell damaged, so I don't know about him. Here comes the He-Hut machine of Scott Olson, and he's going to beat the pace car off. So Olson in good shape too. I like this strategy call here, Randy.
It's definitely it's a tough call to make this early, because like we talked about at the beginning, you get these long runs, and now you got to conserve your tires. If you're going to try to make it from here on out, you got to conserve your tires in case there is a caution later on where others pit. You make up some track position, but you definitely got to save some tire.
Yeah, I agree. However, there is only 14 cars in the field. Now, if you're you're in 8th place, what, you're going to maybe possibly lose 6 spots and be in the top 15 because there's only 14 cars. So these guys rolling the dice, but the risks aren't quite, Vegas-esque, I guess I would say.
No, and I was just looking at the results. Alex Sexton, he started he gridded at 6th. So he just made a pit stop, and he's still in 10th. So I guess I would I'd say that'd be the right strategy call at this point.
Yeah, for him, right? The leaders probably not so much, but here we go again. It's Connor and Cole. We'll see if anything was learned here on this start. As on the outside, Brian Cole going to try and match him, but no, down and away. The inside lane, Caleb Dyer, pick number 2 for Randy McCanny down on the inside. Wow.
Yeah, I prefer not to talk about him. So what happened the last time?
So the 17 down there, Brian Cole on the high side, really trying, but he pushed up high that time. He got stuck up there. We'll see. I think here, you see how far the 15 drives into the corner there. He can really drive it in deep and a little wiggle out of Caleb Dyer. So that high side, Randy, I'm thinking the more I'm watching this, the high side where you want to be eventually.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely doing a great job. And like you said, driving into the corner that deep, just pinning him, and it looks like he cleared him.
Wow, big fight out of points leader Brian Cole. He slips back into second place.
And a great job by him, racing clean side by side like that, giving everybody room, giving Caleb room on that inside, so he didn't pinch him as much.
Battle now heating up. Barry Hines and Jeff Werdeman, a couple old timers, used to do a lot of racing around here, back on the track. Good to see both of them. And they got Colin J. Kennedy in there. Kennedy was looking to split him. He's looking to go anywhere because he's got Sexton behind him, who just pitted.
Yeah, trying to use those new tires to his advantage.
So these guys kind of jammed up here. Werdeman clearing Hines on that high side again. I'm seeing, and Hines sideways, dirt tracking back there. Through the grass he goes. We stay green.
Great save by him to not bring out a caution, not damage his car.
And that kind of strings him out now. So now you got Connor out front, Brian Cole in second. It's Dyer, and there's Adam Newton. Let's get a look in on Newton. Maybe we'll head on board and see what we can see out of the 5 machine.
Yeah, Adam's doing a great job, just minding his business and running his own race, and doesn't look like he's overdriving his car at all.
Now this is something we've seen more and more at this track, these puffs of dust coming up when they get up by that wall, Randy. What exactly is that? Is that them hitting the wall? Is that some, speedy dry up there? What's going on?
It definitely looks like dust, and I didn't see any sparks or anything, so I don't know if they're just running that close to the wall, it's kicking up dust right on the edge of the wall, or they're just barely rubbing their outside corner, their right rear fender off the wall.
All right, we check in with the 1 machine, Ryman Cassel. Cassel in this points hut, in this the super late house. So we have a 3-way point situation here. I don't believe this is completely up to date, but you have an overall championship, the late model, and the super late. So Cassel currently right there in second in the super lates, and he's running 5th right now. I like the way he's looking too. He's being kind of smooth here. This could be something where he's thinking about the long run here, Randy.
Yeah, he's definitely driving that way. His car looks nice and stable entering the corner. You notice some guys they're really driving it in and hustling it through the first half of the corner, and then right there he gets a little loose off. So he's definitely driving it. It's just, it looks like he's just saving his car and just waiting for this long run.
Jaden Russell out in YouTube land. A big shout out to you. Glad to see you out here watching tonight, and maybe we see you on the track with these guys here one of these days. Oh, and Ryman Cassel, what's happened to him? Well, I was checking YouTube land. He's hit the wall. Heavy damage.
Yeah, heavy damage on the right front of that car.
So let's get a look in on this and see what happened to Ryman Cassel here. See Cassel, he's sitting here in 5th all alone, cruising along, and there's that puff of smoke, and on entry he just breaks loose. Overcorrection outside wall. Not heavy damage, a slight lick there, but he's going to fall back behind Purnell into 11th.
And now how the roles have changed for him, now he's hoping for a caution. With a fast repair still in his bag here, he can get his car patched up and hopefully go fight, get his positions back.
Yeah, the rules can change in a hurry, and they often do. Lap 24 of 150, the Community Barbershop 150. Dylan Connor, your race leader.
And it's definitely spreading out like it has a long green flag run look to it. So the early pitters, this might be the catbird seat for them. They're going to stay out with that one stop to make it to the end. This will really play into their hands.
See Jeff Worden in there. He's made his way up to 5th position here. Kind of like that car, Randy. I don't know. We got a little gunslinger on the side. I got to get a better look at this one.
It looks like a little gunslinger on the side, but beautiful color scheme. Love the yellow on the front.
Oh, and is that whiskey? I mean, shout out to Baron Labosco if you're listening here. That's some whiskey. Gunslinger whiskey. Get it into you, son.
It's a beautiful car, beautiful paint scheme.
Alex Sexton sitting back in 6th position here. And Alex always has the speed. It's a matter of whether he gets a little bit of luck and whether he positions himself for later in the race. Right now, seems to be smooth and clean and biding his time. Walker Cole and Colin Kennedy here running. Running 7th and 8th here. And both of them up 5 spots so far, Randy.
Yeah, great runs by both of them. And back to Alex, I believe he's the first one that came in on that early caution to get new tires. So he's doing a great job. He's back up to 6th place, right where he started. Had those fresher tires, and looks like he's moving his way to the front.
Let's check in on the last lap times here for these guys. Right now, it looks like Caleb Dyer down in 3rd place running the fastest lap out there. Dyer will show flashes of brilliance. He hasn't had that complete race, that victory lane race. I mean, I could be talking out of turn. He may have won one last season or something, but it's been a while for Caleb. But he's always got the speed, Randy. And when you see guys that have the speed, they can race up front with anybody, but just can't seem to either stay there or don't get the luck. Or what is it? What does it take? Does winning just breed winning? You just got to get lucky once, or what is it?
It definitely helps. It's just getting over that hump, that first one. If you're struggling or in a little slump in the season, the good finishes and having the speed's great, but something happening, it's just a slump, and you just need anything. Just put you over that hump, get a win, top 2 finish, and your confidence just builds up, and then it's almost like that just takes the slump right away, and you just take off from there.
Yeah, it's almost like the universe. It's just like it's set out there. Once those vibes come, they stay with you. But getting them, it's like chasing a butterfly without a net.
It is, and you hope it lands on you.
Indeed, you do.
Well, watching Caleb, and he's got a little different entry into the corner. It looks like he's entering a little bit higher and running down the hill, coming out of the corner, and it seems like it's helping his car stay straight coming off the corner.
Let's get a little blimp shot of him here and just see here. See a little bit of a late exit there. I like it. Looks like behind him, Newton kind of coming out of the corner a little earlier. And you see Newton's kind of fighting it, and Caleb not so much.
Yeah, it looks like he's straightening out the exit of the corners and getting that straight run off and able to put the power down maybe just a little bit faster.
Well, and as we say that, he gets a little bit loose.
And, a little bit loose, and Adam catches him.
So, once again, we just prove our knowledge is it's fluid is what it is, Randy.
It's changing every lap.
So very spread out here. 14 cars North Wilkesboro. The good news is This track can produce high numbers of caution. We got a real green flag feel to it here. And Randy, when we look, you got Sexton is the first one that came in and take that stop. Now, can he make it? I don't know. I think maybe he can. He's sitting here in sixth. This thing, a long ways to go. But if it was to go green, I mean, who's the second one? You got Kennedy. He's not too far back. Well, just one car between him and Kennedy. So those two would be in the catbird seat here.
Absolutely. If the other guys have to come in under green, it's you're going to lose a lap unless you're just splash and go to try to save some time on the track and hope for a caution. It's definitely going to open up some strategy possibilities for the guys that have to come in, but the guys that came in early definitely are sitting in the catbird seat right now.
Speaking about early, Austin Purnell, early trouble, making a move now, and no, he's all of a sudden he's drifting it through the corner as he tried to make that move on Adam Cole, and Purnell just cannot keep the car together right now. He's in there beating his head against a window. I can see him, Randy. He's getting frustrated.
It definitely, and he was one of the guys came in, got that fast repair, started marching back up through, and I'm sure he just from that early spin, I'm sure there's some frustration in there, and he just wants to get back to where he was.
I mean, you said it, in practice, fast. We can see it on the track. He's one of the few guys that's gotten up to a car and looked to make a move. He is quick. It's just side by side. The car is not planting. It's causing all kinds of headaches for him, and here he is, mired back in 10th position again, and he's calculating a new strategy.
Absolutely, and thinking about, okay, if I get to this guy again, what do I got to do different? Well, so the car doesn't break loose, doesn't slide into the corner. And like I said, he's driving the wheels off of that because I'm sure there's a lot of frustration at this point of the race that he wants that track position back from where he started.
All right, things starting to heat up for third position now. It's Adam Newton closing in on Caleb Dyer. I do a little bit of racing with Adam once in a while, and he continues to improve year after year. And what I've noticed as of late is he's beginning to be a real long-run driver. And here he is, to run now. Lap 47 at 150. The 5 rolling that corner quite well. Caleb pushing a bit, fighting the car a bit. I think the 5 is coming.
I'd have to agree with you. And for the first 40 laps, it looked like Adam's just riding, letting the race come to him, letting his car come to him, saving some tires, and now he's on the inside trying to make the pass.
When you can just see in that corner how he can drive in about 4 or 5 car lengths further. I don't know why. It's all technique, I would imagine, Randy.
Oh, absolutely. He might have the brake bias a little bit more to the rear, and it's helping him turn into the corner, but he's hooking that bottom, and the car's just stable down there.
He is, and he gets by Dyer. Now it's Werderman. Jeff Werderman with the Gunslinger whiskey on the hood, starting to make himself known. He pushes up on Caleb Dyer.
Yeah, that battle for third actually brought in the next 3 cars behind him. It's going to be a tight battle here in the next few laps.
Yep, things heat up. They always do here. Guys taking it easy early, planning, strategizing. Now starting to accordion back together. But our leader, Dylan Connor, still out front, stretching it out. His last lap, a 18.77 to an 18.84 for Brian Cole. Not his best lap. Newton, a little quicker, 18.75.
And Adam, with saving that tire, maybe his car's saving those tires early. His car's really coming to him now. He's looking smooth entry, exit, and like we said, hooking that bottom whenever he feels like he needs to. The car just rotates beautifully down low.
Yeah, I like what I see out of the 5 right now. He's looking really good. There's no doubt about it. What I noticed, though, the last lap times, when I look at them, between first and 10th, there's thousandths of a second. Not tenths, or maybe hundreds, but it is small margins here through all these cars.
And that absolutely plays a factor in when you're trying to pass somebody. same speed. You're trying to shorten the track up as much as you can if you're running the inside just to get any hundredth of a second to get a little run coming off the corner. And it could take 3 to 5 laps to make one pass.
Hop on board here with Walker Cole, and something interesting here. Walker, very, very young man here. His father out there, Brian Cole, multiple race wins, leading the points. But last week, Brian gets passed, 2 to go, and it's Walker, he said earlier in the race, saying, "I think you're running too hard, Dad. I think you're burning him up a bit or whatever." And he was right. It took till like 2 to go for it to happen, but he was right. How often do you see that, Randy? A kid out here, I'm a smart kid, an adult-like kid, but a kid nonetheless, who's got that old man mentality, that long-run mentality.
It's very rare, especially these super lates. A lot of these younger guys, they just get in it. They just drive the wheels off of it as fast as they can every lap, qualifying laps. And they're usually the ones that find themselves in trouble, spinning, pinching it down, getting loose off the corners. But Walker seems to be, just methodically putting the car where he needs it to go. The car's rotating good. He's just slowly waiting for his chance to make the pass.
Oh, he's not waiting anymore.
No.
Oh, and he's around Sexton, drilled twice into the wall, wrecked. The arms flailing. Is that a finger I see? It might be.
It very well may be. And the commentator curse again.
Well, I mean, if it was a curse, it was on the wrong guy.
Yeah, it was.
Let's get a look in on it here. I mean, there's not much to see. We're watching these live. We don't need replays, but Walker, not much patience here. We talk about the old man with the tires saving, but it looks like once the saving was done, he that was a little egregious there on the double hit. I mean, the first one was okay, just a slight contact on entry. It happens, but the finishing off, not going to be appreciated by Mr. Sexton.
No, not at all. And that just is, I think Walker thought his car was faster, and that's where the lap times are so equal. It's so hard to pass that you're trying to bump them, get them up out of the groove, get a quick, easy pass, and go along and move on to the next guy. But definitely going to change the whole outlook of this race. Seems to be everybody's in for tires and fuel.
Yeah, everybody, and Brad Ebley out on the track getting a lap back. But the rest of them are in, and wow, we missed it there. A little three-way kerfuffle coming off of pit road. Looks like Caleb Dyer's being passed. He might have a penalty.
Yeah, Caleb seems to... Well, now it seems like he's okay. No, he's still staying a little bit low.
We're going to go back to pit road here and see if we can't catch this on a replay here. These guys coming off of pit road. So you see the 2 cars come out, and now Werderman and Newton come out, and here we go. Cole, Dyer, and Walker Cole. I mean, wow. Adam Cole backs out, and that was wise. And and he's the old wise uncle. He backs out of that 3 wide coming out of pit road.
Yeah, no need to take damage coming out of a pit stop and having to make extra pit stops to fix any damage.
Brad Ebley coming in. Ebley out here. A lot of times Brad's just out here kind of turning laps, getting the feel of the car, and I respect it. He's done a great job of staying out of guys' ways, getting his practice in, and next season, I mean, I expect at some point, Brad, and he'll have a couple of tracks where he'll do well at, but I expect him to put together a season where he's top 10, maybe higher in points, and he's starting to run consistently in the top half of this league. I mean, these type of guys, Randy, come out, put the effort in, and learn racecraft first. They do well in the long run.
They absolutely do, and like you said, he's been great with faster cars. He was a lap down. He's letting the leaders go. He's doing all the right things, and he's logging laps and getting that experience and racing around people. Even if it's a slower night for him, he's still putting his time in.
So here we go, re-racked up. Same as before, though. It's Connor and Cole out front. Connor down and away in a flash. Newton trying to get underneath that 15. 15 been so good. Oh, and he pushes up. Newton does. Trying to go in as deep as a 15. Could not do it.
This definitely changes the complex. Oh, it's spinning behind him.
Yellow flag.
Massive wreck. Colin J. Kennedy's in it. Dyer's in it. Purnell, of course, is in it. Purnell not having good luck tonight.
No, this so far has probably been a night Purnell wants to just get the race over and move on to next week as soon as possible.
Well, we had the green light flag feel, but cautions breed cautions, and here we go, folks. Little replay of what I'm going to guess is a little too much aggression here. You got the 3 machine. He's right behind the 5. Werderman and Cassel behind him. Cassel comes in. Little net code, but some contact there. And then Adam Cole gets into him, pushes the 3 up. And bada boom, bada bing. We got ourselves a pile up. That's Italian for those who don't know.
And now the guys, there's some aggression going on, and I know the guys up front are wanting people to calm down, get back into that groove. We're almost approaching halfway already. That first half went by really quick with all those green flag laps. Been some great racing, and because the lap times are so close, everybody on fresh tires is trying to get everything they can as soon as the green flag drops.
Well, now, do you think this is a product of the setup a little bit? I mean, when you get these tighter setups, you can't, it's a one-line track, and everybody's running super close speeds together. Frustration kind of builds. You feel like, you want to make some moves, and there's just none to be had, Randy.
Oh, absolutely. These tighter setups, you're at the mercy of the setup. So it brings the field together. It creates the more of the one line, and that's where you're seeing, guys getting in the back of the other guys. You're just stacked on top of each other unless there's that long green run. And even then, you're only separated by less than a second from the guy in front. One little slip up and they're right back racing each other again.
So some of these cars fixed back up. Fast repairs put on these cars. I don't expect the aggression to tone down now, Randy.
Oh, absolutely not. We're approaching halfway now, and that's usually it's go time. The second half of the race, you get what you got. It's only 75 more laps, and
it's like survival of the fittest at this point.
Exactly.
I mean, it's been clean. If they can get a little strung out, it'll get clean again. But right now, these first couple laps, guys are going to try and get what they can get. And what I've noticed is the tight car, it's particularly tight now on fresher tires after the pit stop. I don't know why that would be. Maybe you do, Randy, but it seems tighter earlier.
And it could be with the hot track that it's tight early until they start wearing on that right rear tire and it starts to go back to neutral. Then it starts getting looser and you can kind of maneuver your car where you need it.
So once again, the bottom line, this time Newton took a really aggressive exit out of the corner, trying to hold on underneath of Brian Cole. Adam Newton trying to make a move. He won't be able to do it, and now he's going to contend with Cassel. Cassel throws it in on the high side. Newton still rocking the bottom and getting a good exit. He does not want to let Cassel get too far up there on that outside, though.
No, he doesn't want him out there too much close to him, because then you can get that pinch down and you start getting that loose off on these fresh tires.
Now, I've been talking about this high line, and I don't know why we haven't seen guys move up here more during this race. It is clearly, at least during side-by-side action, where you want to be. That tight car pinched on the bottom with the snap condition on the back end of that tightness, just not good down there.
No, and it seems like we got multiple guys up there now thinking the same thing as you're talking about. That Highline.
Werderman pushing up in this section.
So close. In that run they get off the corner on that Highline, that's hard to overcome.
And the drive-in, what's surprising me, like they're driving in way deeper on that high side.
Yeah, and it's still
Yellow
rotating
flag
to
is out.
make a good caution.
Not seeing exactly what happened, but I think something with Barry Hines here. Hines in that familiar 8 paint job. Let's get a look at it. So here he is. He's on the outside of Purnell. Caleb Dyer makes it 3 wide in the middle of the corner. That's not going to work, and it doesn't.
Not at all. It does not work here at this track. 3 wide. It looks like there's room. There is not room, especially
Right.
coming off a corner.
Well, in the middle of the corner. I mean, you weren't there at the start of the corner. You can't put it there in the middle. It's a very awkward situation for everybody. I mean, just an opinion, Caleb. No harm from the booth here. We got high praise for you, but that seemed a little out of character, perhaps. Dylan Connor, Brian Cole up front. Cassel and Newton in row 2, Sexton and Werderman in row 3. It's Adam Cole and Scott Olson. Now let's take a little bit about Scott Olson here, the He Hut machine. You may not know, Randy, the He Hut is a response to the She Hut, which is where I suppose a woman might have a Facebook or something where she's making some of her fancy whatever knitting or whatever they make. Well, he's got a He Hut, and he makes some great little models and stuff, some like tiny little garage scenes and pit road scenes and stuff with the men and the lifts in the garage and all that. They're kind of cool if anybody wants to check that out. Scooter's He Hut. But Scott Olson here, Randy, I mean, you know, he's been a late comer in these races. He's generally took the, hey, I'll sit out the first half. You know, I'll wait till later. Well, it's later now.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, we're past halfway. It's later, and you know, you're going to see guys aggression's going to get picked up more and more every time. Every time they take a few laps and the caution comes out, the aggression's going to pump up higher and higher.
See Ebley coming in for service. No tires. He's away. So what about Dylan Connor up here right now? I mean, it seems to be just such an advantage to have this pole position. I don't know what anybody can do to get around him, Randy.
Yeah, with the advantage with him being able to start the race, it's, you know, he's getting to pick and choose, and that inside line, it seems like they cut it down and get a straight shot to the start finish line, and it's just a rocket taking off. But if somebody can get on the outside of them, you know, that takes that whole advantage away. You know, the outside line gets a good restart here and can get on the outside of them. We've seen how that outside line can run on these fresh tires.
Now looking back from Dylan Connor's car to Ryman Cassel, that thing is beaten up, but he's up there in the third, challenging to take second. And Brian Cole, he's fought off numerous challenges so far.
Yeah, and he always seems to find himself in that outside line that, you know, he's doing a great job out there keeping guys pinched down low where they can't get that big run coming off.
Sexton, so Sexton somehow surviving trouble here and there, and now up into fourth. It's Newton on the high side, but he hasn't been up there all night. He's been really rolling the low side well, and finally gets down. Werderman slides in behind him.
Yeah, Sexton, you know, he's been he was up front, did that early pit stop, got kind of mirrored back in the back, working his way up front, got into some trouble there with that one accident, got his fast repair, and now he finds himself right back up in the fourth.
Barry Hines pushing up, and he's pushing up again. He got into Dyer again. Dyer's not going to be happy. That 8 machine pushed up 2-3 corners in a row, and you know, and eventually he got into the 17. Here he's going to continue. He's going to try to get underneath Adam Cole now.
He's definitely not looking like he's trying to make any friends out there, and you know, He looks like he's driving his car really hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, Barry's been involved in other people's stuff on occasion in the past, and he might just have no patience here tonight, folks.
This could be his payback night. He's not gonna give in, and he's gonna run his race, and everybody better watch out.
Here comes Sexton. He got underneath the Ryman Cassel. How about the 9 machine? Now up into third position.
A great run by the 9. Great rebound from earlier.
So Cassel looking like someone was practicing their punching here on the front of that hood. My goodness, he slides into fourth. Newton behind him with Werderman.
I'm wondering if that front nose damage is kind of hurting his car, and with a tight setup, with that downforce messed up in the front, if it's actually making that car tighter.
I'll tell you what it really reminds me of, Randy, and this is going to be a little Canadian thing here. It's often in Canada we like to shoot our hockey pucks into the dryer downstairs. If you got an old broken down dryer, that's where you practice. You just smash the living you know what out of that dryer with hockey pucks, and it looks just like that.
It absolutely, I guess it did. It does. I never did that.
Well, everybody out there, you take a Google on that and just see, and I could show you many examples from personal life. I did not have one. My parents wouldn't allow such things, but definitely had friends who had them.
And I just noticed Castle, he's definitely pushing that car, trying to get everything he can out of it right now. He's definitely driving it in hard, and he's loose coming off the corner. So kudos for him for trying to get everything he can out of the smash car.
Now Hines, I was giving flack to Barry Hines, but he is really driving quick here. Barry Hines not messing around. He's come up on Werderman here, and you can just see he's kind of diamonding the corner almost. And is that something that might work with this kind of condition this car has?
It very well could be, especially if it's a tight car. You could drive it in, let it drift up just a little bit, and get that straighter exit. And as we say that, he moves to the high side.
Yeah, and I see Newton's kind of worked his way up the track a little bit too, and I like this from these. Oh, and Hines is around. Not sure what happened, but it looks like Purnell's facing up with him there. I don't know if that's ready to do the draw there or what's going on, but let's have a replay on it. So there's Purnell, strong middle of the corner, brings him to the quarter panel. He loose, nothing there. We come down on entry, and it's like maybe a checkup there or something, and Purnell just gets into the rear of him.
That's what it looks like. Purnell is the fourth in line, and the last one to the party usually is the one that unfortunately causes somebody to get spun around.
All right, pit stop's coming on, as perhaps guys think tires of great importance here tonight. Leader Brian Cole, or second place car Brian Cole's in, Newton's in, Werderman's in, Adam Cole, Scott Olson. So this is huge. Lap 97, we're going to have about 50 to go when we go green here. Right side's going on Werderman and Newton. So tires definitely there. And it looks like Colin J is... No, that wasn't Colin J. That was Newton. Newton got 4.
Newton got 4.
So Newton with 4 tires. I like it from the 5 machine.
Oh, absolutely. Now we're going to see how much tires are really worth on this track. That was a mixed bag of there's some 2 tires. Adam got 4, and the rest of the guys staying out. This will definitely mix it up.
The 4 tire, it looks like Purnell's got a pit road penalty, so he's going to slide to the back of the field. But that 4 tire stop, so a tight condition here. I'm not saying I know. I'm taking a guess here, though, that those left sides are what's going to help that car rotate. So the right side's going to be more about your grip level, but the left sides could be the key here, Randy.
Absolutely, and this will be interesting on this restart to see how Adam, where he can kind of pick and choose, the high line. That high line moves off these green flag starts. If he can get up there, pass a few cars, you know, then with those four tires, start hooking that bottom again.
Very, very interesting here. And now it's Connor and Sexton. Kennedy up 10 spots into fourth with Ryman Cassel on the inside of him. Colin J, helper up here in the booth, becoming a great broadcaster, now on the track, looking to make things happen. But right now, Sexton on that high side, he's going to beat Cassel off the corner. Now Colin J going to try and swing around Cassel. And that high side continues to do well in early side-by-side action.
Yeah, that run coming off the corner, it's just, that inside line just can't compete with that run coming off the corner in these restarts.
Cassel swings out high now. Oh, and Walker nudges him out, or gets underneath him. And we're under caution. Looks like Caleb Dyer. Something's happened to him. Not Dyer's night here. So things heating up. It's Hines side by side with Dyer. These guys were into it earlier. He pushed up on Dyer and he wrecked him. And it was just a little, that's self there, but I think that's frustration. He's got frustration with himself. He's got frustration with Hines. And that seemed a little self-inflicted there.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to stay off of him, but, thought maybe he was going to get pinched going into the corner, and it kind of turned it right and just hooked it right and lost it.
When you got something with a guy, whatever it is, for whatever reason it is, you can't get away from him. It doesn't matter. You could be in first and he's in last. There's a caution. All of a sudden you're side by side. It's just the way it is, Randy.
Oh, absolutely. You could think you had the fastest car in practice, and during the race you're racing for 30th and right side by side with the same guy.
It happens every time. You won't shake him for the whole race, so you got to get used to it and learn to deal with it. Connor, though, not seeming to deal with anything here tonight except for clean track and clean air. Lap 104 or 150 in the community barbershop 150. The 92 machine leading wire to wire. I don't see that changing, but we have new challengers in Sexton and Kennedy. Can either one of these guys get it done here, Randy?
Oh, it's going to be a tall order. Connor's just those restarts, he gets such a jump and gets clear in that clean air and just seems to, he'll get out to a half second, 7/10 of a second lead, and he just seems to maintain that where nobody can really gain on him, and he's just doing a great job maintaining that lead.
All right, Colin J down on the bottom. It's Sexton and Cassel on the top. Cassel's number on the hood there looks like it's fallen off. I'm not too sure about that one. That's a unique sticker job there, Randy.
That is on that top right corner.
You got drunks working for him down in the pit crew, I think. Here we go, Connor and Sexton.
Green flag.
Another good start. Sexton this time really good on the high side for what we've seen so far. He rolls right to the bumper of Dylan Connor. Probably could have wrecked him if he wanted to. Colin J on the bottom with Cassel, slides in. He was clear, but it was by a hair.
It's a great battle for the lead. Sexton, didn't let him get away this time. He stuck right with him.
Yeah, all these guys they're single file. They're not far back this time, so Connor's advantage, not what it used to be.
Oh, absolutely not. And checking back and how those four tires with Adam Newton, he's up to 10th and looking for 9th right now.
Yeah, well, Newton up on the high side. I like that choice by him. Use those tires, get up there, get that momentum. He slides down to the bottom, and he decides better of it. battles are not really raging side by side, but they're getting real close now. Everybody can smell it, Randy. 40 to go. Everybody's amping up. Whatever you had left, whether it be from the tires or from your driving ability, you're laying it all on the line now.
Oh yeah, 40 laps here on this short track it's kind of reminds you of Bristol. It's really quick, and it's definitely time to. There's no time to save tires or fuel or anything. It's time to go.
Walker Cole trying to make a move on Ryman Cassel, but nothing happening there.
No, and even after the short, 5-6 laps after the restart, you start leveling back out and making those passes harder and harder.
So Brian Cole made a late stop there. Now he only got 2 tires. Cole back into 8, so these 2 tires are not paying off. You would think Brian Cole would know that, but he must have sent something out of that car that made him think, I have to. So, I mean, I trust Brian, and he gets into Barry Hines there. I don't know if the trust may be waning here.
Yeah, I'm sure he's wishing the 2 tires would come in a little bit faster and help him a little bit more, but it just seems like, the 2 tires, or even the 4 tires, I think it's going to take more laps before they can prevail and really show the advantage.
Well, and the other thing is, I think they're trying to go on the low side, but everybody's running the low side. There's nothing there. You got to go high, drive it in deep.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're gonna follow their line, you're gonna follow them to the finish line.
Yeah, no doubt. Cole slides low, peaks down, nothing doing. There's no room. He forces it in there, and he gets into the 8, and he's a little sideways. He's got to go high. There's no room down there.
Now I see he looked a little bit high on that entrance.
He's just looking for crossovers. Oh, and a block thrown by Barry. Pushed up the track. That's not legal, but I think that was kind of on Barry. It's hard to say. Barry's not happy. He side checks him. Another side check. Brian Cole getting abused here, and he put the abuse out first. This is a turnabout. I don't know if it's fair play or not, though.
But it looks like the gloves are off right now.
Gloves are off. Lap 118 and 150. Here comes Colin J. Kennedy. Side by side with Sexton. They are losing Dylan Connor while they battle here so hard for second place.
Yeah, they're just they're racing each other, just killing their
Oh, and we got an accident here. It's Adam Cole. Caleb Dyer comes in for a little action at the end of it. Whoa, and Caleb a little out of control, spinning the car there. So let's get a look. The 83 machine here. It's got Barry Hines behind him. Brian Coleman. Barry drives in deep there. Gets about a half car length. Goes to the bottom and just takes him out. So Barry continues to be aggressive.
Car. He's using this car up. He said it's go time.
Wow, third and fourth hit pit road. Sexton and Cassel. This is wild. We don't see these kind of pit stops in the super lates.
Wow, and the way the 4 tires really, even the 2 tires, wasn't really paying off, back in that pack because everybody running that low line. This is definitely an interesting move.
Well, that's one way to put it. I would call it a terrible mistake. I mean, 30 laps left. It's just not going to happen for these guys.
There's no time. I mean,
it's hard enough to get by one car, Randy.
Exactly, and with only 30 laps left, there's no time to make up that much ground. And
no, I mean, if we're doing time trials, you may be 2-3 tenths faster, but we're not. There's cars on this track. There's no line to drive in.
Right, and even that high line, on these starts, they're side by side, 3-4 deep that first whole lap, so you're just stuck in traffic.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, just for anybody rooting for those guys, I'm often wrong. I mean, I'd say about 90% of the time, so there's hope.
Oh, there's definitely hope, One caution that, gets 5, 6 cars in front of them involved and they make it through clean. We look like we're the dumb ones because they're in 5th place.
Well, I just flat out will say it, Randy. I don't. You don't have to
Well, I know.
criticize my
We are.
looks.
It's we.
So Connor and now Kennedy. How about Colin J. Kennedy? He's up 11. Walker behind him, or in third, is up 9. So these guys are big movers on the track.
Absolutely. It's Colin J just steady all night, just kept picking them off one by one.
Big start from Dylan Connor. Colin J, not the start he wanted. He lets Walker to the inside. I'm hearing tires squeal. It's Olsen and Ebley around. We get a look in here on the replay. So right at the start of the race, Olsen on the high side, a little wiggle. He seems all right, but Cassel goes in 3 wide on entry. That's not going to work.
No, not at all.
I mean, you just can't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, he's better off if you do it on the straightaway. At least on entry, everybody knows where they got to go. But going on right on entry and sticking it in 3 wide, it just can't work.
No, the bottom guy's hugging the low line, but that top guy's trying to get that run off. And we've seen everybody on that high line. You got to pinch that lower guy down to prevent that run off. So, there's just no room. Like you said,
I mean, it can work for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I say it can't work. I mean, it works for you. But
yeah.
The friends thing, I mean, often the wrecker is the one who advances, but you're not going to advance every race because those guys are going to come back with anger.
Race car drivers remember everything. They remember every time they've been hit. And
well, I don't know about everything.
Next week.
They don't seem to remember when they hit other people.
No, when they've been hit, though.
Yes,
they remember it.
I mean, 1942, turn 3. It was 12 p.m. There was a slight mist on the ground. I mean, they remember.
Absolutely.
Olsen comes off of pit road, so Scott, not the night he's looking for. He tried to play it cool early, but it's North Wilkesboro, folks. It's a tight track. Passing is extraordinarily tough, and once you get a caution or two and you stack them up, these boys are going to do. I mean, I'm not blaming anybody, who have called out here tonight. Wilkesboro, incredibly difficult. I'd be much worse in the car than I even am in the booth, Randy.
I agree. I would be as well. It's easy. We're sitting up here. We're not hitting the bumps. We're not. Those little nudges you feel during the race.
A guy checks up. You don't want to check up late in the race, so you put it 3 wide. I get it. Stuff happens out there.
Absolutely. And now we're coming down to 20 to go, 22 to go.
Here we go. Connor and Kennedy. Connor, another good start. Kennedy this time a little better, but Walker's still there. Here comes Brian Cole. Remember, Brian Cole made a late pit stop, and with these cautions, all of a sudden, what we criticize is now looking like it might work for him.
Exactly. Those cautions really helped him, and now he's going to be up battling for third.
And right behind him, it's Mr. 4-tire, the 5 of Adam Newton. So Brian Cole starts to work on son Walker. He weaves out high, looking for the crossover. It's not really there. Walker knows that move. He's his son.
He's definitely taking his line, so not giving him any free space there.
20 to go. Dylan Connor, wire to wire, leading this race so far. And it looks like Adam Cole's, Adam Newton I've been watching, and he is not getting involved in this battle. And I don't think it's because he can't. I think it's because he decided, let me wait 2, 3 laps, 4 laps here, let you guys battle a bit. I'm going to try to get a little bit more of an advantage before I make my move. Oh, and it's Werdeman up into the wall on 2 wheels, back down on the track. We stay green. So now it's a must go. 17 to go. No holding back. Brian Cole still stuck behind Walker. Newton stuck behind them. And then it's Sexton and Dyer swapping paint back here.
And I see Colin Jay's closing the gap a little bit to Dylan Connor.
Yeah, Colin Jay turning some hot laps right now. Slightly faster, no doubt about it. The 3 machine trying late in this race to get up here and take this victory away from Dylan Connor.
We see, a little bump and run.
Set on board with Colin J. Kennedy and see what you can see here, Randy. I mean, it looks fairly smooth right now. He's right there.
He absolutely is. One little bobble from Dylan, and he's going to be all over the back bumper of him.
And Dylan making that car wide, man. That was high to low, using every inch of this track. He's not giving anything away except for entry. If Colin get a little closer and get a big run, he'll have to jam it down there on entry. And we're under wreck conditions again. Barry Hines out on the track along with Ryman Cassel. Let's get a look at it here. The 8 machine seemingly all alone on the track. Here comes Cassel, full head of steam, come down into the corner, and that's a dive bomb, folks, if I ever seen one.
Oh, he doesn't even look like he lost his brakes going into that corner.
He may have lost them. I mean, the oil line could have went, or,
brake pads wore out, heated up.
Stuff happens. Looked a little egregious, but it could be payback, could be a mistake. Who knows? Speculation from the booth.
It's definitely going to be an interesting pit road after this race.
Well, this is, it's standard North Wilkesboro in these super lates. Guys are so frustrated with not being able to make passes, and the track is just not conducive to passing. Quite frankly, if I'm being honest, for these cars, I don't know why they brought this track back from the dead.
Yeah, in this service, I mean, out of all the races, this is definitely one of the hardest with cautions. And like you said, if you get a tight car, it's a one-line track. It's so hard to pass.
It is. I mean, the track could just use a little more progressive banking, and we race would be on here. It's wide enough, Randy.
It's definitely wide enough.
But, I mean, who am I to be saying these things? And if I've offended anybody out there, well, I'll give you my email. You can send me a personal message. Not over the air, though. Well, Barry Hines coming up towards the front, now backing out, back to the back. I don't know if he's hunting or what's going on, but the number 8 machine now to the back of the field.
Yeah, I don't know if that was some frustration, trying to show somebody he's frustrated with them, or...
I remember someone doing that to me, Randy, and I famously had said, message not received. That didn't go over very well.
Not at all.
I ended up in the wall in the first corner. Not a happy time. Here we go. Connor, Kennedy, Cole and Cole, father and son.
Green flag,
Just great starts. I don't know why someone's not jumping with them there, but Walker seemingly get the advantage on the inside. Colin J rolling that high side really well, coming back strong.
Absolutely. The only problem is racing side by side. You're losing a little time every lap and watching the leader just walk away.
Yeah, he gets down now, though. Colin J is there. Here comes Brian Cole. That low side, just, for passing, it might be the fastest way around when you got the whole track, but for passing, out of 2, you just can't hold it there.
No, and that high line, You see Sexton up there now trying to make a move in fourth place.
Yeah, Sexton's on that high side. Brian Cole stuck on the bottom. It's so hard to make that pass on the bottom. Him and Newton stuck. Dyer's loose again, and he's shaking and rattling, and he's got Ebley, and he has wrecked pieces of his car flying all over the place.
This is definitely going to be a night that he's going to want to put behind him and get on to next week.
Man, we had high hopes for Caleb tonight, but it just started to snowball on him, frustration mounts, and wow, he just broke loose on his own, gets a piece of Adam Cole, does the turkey trot walk or something. I don't know what you call that. And
yeah, and and that's what we talked about earlier. You get one little mistake, you get frustrated, and it puts you behind the eight ball, and then another little mistake, and they just keep adding up, and you're just so frustrated by halfway through the race that you're making mental errors.
Well, when you get to that point, it's probably time to park it because you know yourself, nothing more good can happen here.
Oh, absolutely. And now we're going to be into a overtime finish.
3 laps remain. The Community Barbershop 150. It's been an eventful night here. Good green flag run early. Looked like everybody was accordion back together. We were going to have something. Then a caution. And since then, it's been one caution after another. Restarts of the highest order here of importance. The high side is working in side-by-side action, but not enough to race down the race leader of Dylan Connor.
And yeah, Dylan Connor, as much as he didn't want to see these cautions with the advantage he's been getting on these restarts, I don't think this hurts him at all.
No, he does. We often say, especially in super lates, you got the lead, just give me 100 cautions. I'm good. We'll just restart this all night long. Nobody will touch me. And that's what's going on with Connor. I think he was good to race the race. He wanted to, but he can do it this way even easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this gives him a little bit breathing room on a 3-lap run to the end. And, with 3 laps, you get a half second out, and it's going to be hard to even catch him.
All right, anticipation's going. I don't think anybody's heart rate is really going up at this point, but the gritting of the teeth, the anger, wow, through the roof right now.
Oh, absolutely, at its highest point.
Here we go. Colin Jay's got to jump it this time. Soon as he sees that pace car move, maybe even before, he's got to try and jump this if he's got any hope, Randy.
Absolutely, you got that. That's your only shot to try to get side by side.
Dylan Connor's been consistent. He goes as early as he can every time. There's no magic here. Just jump it. If you get a flag, you get a flag. But you're going for a race win, give it a shot.
Yeah, if you're Colin Jay, you have nothing to lose at this point. You maybe on a longer run you could chase him down, but you definitely have to jump it here.
Here we go. Pace car's off. Connor's away. Colin Jay got a decent start, but not good enough because Walker did as well. Both of these guys perhaps listening and jumped it as well. They go side by side. Colin Jay going to get there. 2 to go for Dylan Connor. Can Colin Jay, look at that center corner. He rolls right up there. Pushes out on exit though. Wow, big entry. What big send. Contact. Colin Jay to the inside. Final lap. It's Connor on the high side. Colin Jay down low. Coming out of 3, out of 4. Connor on the high side. The wall. It's Colin Jay at the line. Oh my God.
What an amazing job by Colin Jay to just send it in there. A little bump and run to make a little room, and what a drive.
I'm in shock. Total shock. I did not think that was going to happen. There's no way. Let's get a replay on this. I was in hysterics. I have to check this out. Colin Jay, right here. Watch this center of the corner. Smooth, bottom line. Good exit from the bottom. The 92 catches the wall at the line to lose it. I'm going back one more time, folks. Live rewind. We're going to go a little further back. There was contact here, and that's where we want to go back to and see. And this is true racing. This is it's a little hurtful to Dylan Connor, but this is not wrecking. This is a classic bump and run here.
Absolutely, textbook bump. He didn't
And he
wreck
didn't
him.
even try. He got a little loose on entry there. He dove it
Yeah,
in, he got a little wiggle, and he came up, a little contact. They're still side by side. And now Connor's just a little out of sorts and tags the wall just slightly there. Maybe not even the wall. He just got a little loose.
just
Wow.
an amazing finish. Amazing. After the race that they had to come to that finish, just amazing. Great job by those two.
Colin J. I mean, Dylan Connor, I feel so bad. The 92 led every lap but the last.
Oh,
Crazy.
just heartbreaking for him, and to have that dominant of a car with those restarts, and you know, like we said, going into it, I didn't think there was a chance.
I thought there was no chance, especially when after the start, I just thought he was just too far back. But a couple of fantastic corners, and then a little contact, and Colin J, your race winner. Let's take a short commercial break. We'll come back. All right, welcome back to the Community Barbershop 150 in the Raid Furniture Mart Late Model Tour. My goodness, Randy, it was early on, kind of entertaining here. That's watching this long run strategy just starting to come into fruition, perhaps ready to make some moves and things were going to start happening, including perhaps green flag pit stops not too far away, but cautions and then more cautions and guys' angers tempers starting to flare out there. Not a whole lot happening at front until it did. Last lap, Colin J pulls it out. Thrilling way to finish this thing.
Amazing finish to that. Pay window was open, and Colin did everything. I mean, did everything he could and everything right to kind of steal a win.
He absolutely, I mean, stole it, but took it. It wasn't left on the table for him to just take. He went out there and grabbed it. He had to crack the safe and everything, Randy.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's bring in our third place finisher, the number 9, Alex Sexton. In third place, Alex, sure you're looking for a victory, you always are, but here late, coming up with a third place finish, you got to be satisfied with what is a difficult track car setup combination tonight.
Yeah, I felt like we had a pretty good race. I felt like if we had at least 5 more laps, I probably could have won it. We were pitted for 2 tires there late, around 120, and we were fast. But we just ran out of time to get to the front.
Well, Alex, tell us a little bit about battling there early on. Now, a lot went on tonight, so I can't profess to remember it all. But you were certainly involved at one point in the early in the race. You had some trouble. Take us through that time.
Yeah, me and Walker were racing hard there, and he kind of just got into me a little bit and spun me around. And after that, we had quite a bit of damage. Um, Pitted for that, and then I don't know, just working the top was really the key for me tonight. I could just roll around people better than the bottom because it's hard to pass on the bottom here, especially in 1 and 2.
Incredibly difficult to pass here tonight. Had to be frustrating. Did you notice out there tonight that the tempers were starting to come up from the fact that really there's not a whole lot of moves you can be made, and if there's a checkup or anything, you're forced maybe to go three wide when you shouldn't, or not forced, but there's a few bad decisions made out there by people. Do you think it's just the frustration of Wilkesboro?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that in every car and yeah, just every car that you drive there. It's just super difficult to pass on the bottom. And if the guy is just fast enough to keep with you on the top, then it just makes it difficult to get around that guy.
Well, you did an excellent job. You stayed with it. You finished third. We move on now. We think about Lanier. How you feeling about that, Alex? And it'll be in the late models, though.
Uh, I do like Lanier, but I just don't like the late model stock. I don't know. I just feel like you can't really. They're not like a driver's car. I like the super late model better because you have to actually drive it.
Yeah, I can understand, Alex. Well, you are a driver. You did great tonight, man. Congrats on this third place. We look forward to when you come back for the Super Lates in 2 weeks, man. And again, congratulations on third. Anybody you want to shout out, you go right ahead.
P1 Performance, main group of guys that I talk to. Zach Woods, he does all my paints, and that's about it.
All right. Alex, thank you very much. Randy, that was third place finisher, Alex Sexton. All right. And Randy apparently out right now. Dylan Connor joins us in the booth. The 92, I'm sure, very dejected. What a race. Man, Dylan, you led wire to wire, everyone but one. Tell us about it.
Yeah, that one definitely sucks for sure. Um, it sucks, but also, I mean, to have that much fun right there at the end, it was a blast. I sort of a little bit of a dive bomb going into one, I feel like, but I still had the momentum off of two. That's not what lost me the race. I come off of four, trying to just lay the pedal down and got hung up in the wall. When you get hung up in a wall, it's like a parachute, and I just couldn't get off of it. So that's what lost me that race. But it was good racing with them. And I mean, I don't blame him at all right there at the end, selling it in there like that. I mean, it's the last shot he had, so it was a good race.
Well, I can hear a little dejection in the voice, but I also love the attitude. I mean, you have a lot to be maybe upset about, but you choose to go the higher road here and choose what, racing's all about, right? We come here to race. We don't expect people to follow people. So he took his shot, and really, I mean, maybe there was a bit of dive bomb, whatever, but you got to be impressed no matter how it was done. He closed, I mean, two, three, four car lengths there in a single corner. Dylan, was a little bit of shock to you?
Yeah, it was one of my worst restarts. I mean, I still got a pretty good restart, but he was able to close in enough in right there to the middle. And like I said, if I would have come down and run my normal line that I have been, I'd have chopped across his nose and probably would have wrecked both of us. So tried to stick it out on the high side, and it just like I said, just got caught up in the wall, couldn't get off of it.
Man, oh man, you know, thinking about a race like that, it's just so tough. So let's move on, Dylan. Fantastic job here. I mean, leading all those laps, we really thought you had it. We look on now to Lanier, different car, different track. How you feeling about looking forward to Lanier?
I really love that track. It's one of the real high grip short tracks. I love when we go there, kind of like when we went to the bull ring, and of course we'll be back in the late model, which is personally my favorite too. So looking forward to it, and like I said, congrats to Colin.
All right. Dylan Connor, second place finisher there. A great effort from him. but someone who made the most incredible of efforts here, late, very late, last lap late. Victorious, the number 3, Colin J. Kennedy down in victory lane. Colin, congratulations.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you.
My goodness, man, what are you doing? The heart attacks up here. I mean, just an incredible last lap or two. You come out, you get the restart, a decent restart, but the same as usual. You got to battle a guy on your inside, you clear him quickly, and then somehow are able to close up 4 or 5 car lengths in maybe a single corner there. Colin, tell us about it.
Man, I really have no clue what even was happening there. I mean, I knew that there was one shot at it because there was no more green white checkers, and my best bet was to try it. I mean, what was it going to hurt if the only thing that would have hurt was I'd have wrecked him, and I really didn't think I was even going to be close enough to wreck him. Um, I got in the corner, got a little loose. I don't think I hit him. I think I got super close to hitting him, maybe a little bit of net coat. It got him a little loose. But as soon as I got alongside of him, I knew I can roll a center good. So I really backed off my corner into turn 3 and just rolled it off of turn 4. And I mean, he made contact with the wall, which slowed his momentum down a little bit. But I think I still would have got him even if he didn't hit the wall. But just an insane race. I cannot believe that. I mean, it's just like this whole race, the whole beginning of this race was awful. It wasn't even really my fault. It was just very unfortunate with everything that happened. But I mean, it's insane. I have no clue how I'm even up here right now.
It's definitely a little bit insane, but you persevered. Big mover, up 12 spots from the back to the front, doing it on the last lap. True showmanship out here tonight, Colin. Unbelievable, man. I mean, I just want to talk about it more and more here, the finish. I mean, we already covered it, but it was just so incredible. Did you feel now there was a little contact? Let's talk a little bit about that. We talked about with Dylan a little bit there. I want to get your take on that contact.
I mean, I think that the contact really wasn't. I mean, obviously, I didn't mean to do it. I mean, you saw how deep I dove it in the corner, and it got me a little sideways. And I've looked at it a couple of times just to make sure, and I don't think we really touched. I don't know if it was maybe him looking in the mirror or what, or net code. I'm not going to point fingers and say whatever
I
happened,
would
but
say is net code, which means you would have touched, but you didn't. Yeah.
yeah. But still, once again, I don't think it was really enough to ruin his race. I think he still had a shot.
No,
I mean, he still had a shot at winning it.
I'll save you here too, Colin, a little bit. I didn't tell you what Dylan said. I got to tell you, he was a true pro about it. He said it was hard racing and he really enjoyed it and everything. He's a little dejected about not winning after leading all the laps, but give him some credit. Not only having this great race, but racing you clean at the end, staying up high on there, and to boot, little contact. He's not throwing stones or anything at you. So a little shout out to Dylan there too, Colin.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, me and Dylan, we had a little rough up earlier in the season at Bristol where we really didn't get along, but these past couple races, I mean, he's been showing me respect, so I showed him respect back. And tonight was just another example of that. I think he knew a little bit that I was a little bit quicker than him just because I could roll the center a little bit better than he could. Um, but overall, I mean, as soon as I got to his inside, he didn't even close the door. I mean, he really gave me enough room. So much respect from Dylan. I mean, even after losing the race, he still queued up on the mic and told me congratulations. It was a great race. And of course, I said something back and told him I appreciated him running me clean. So,
Yeah, well, we
great,
love
great
it.
people in his league.
We love it here. The league loves it. I mean, both guys act in class. You grabbed the victory. You got to be thrilled, man. Sitting down there with champagne. Take it easy tonight. Don't drink too much, Colin. I know how you can
Trust me, I
get at
won't. I got a
times.
lot to eat tomorrow.
Anyway, we look forward now. Lanier here in the late models. How you feeling about that with this victory under your belt? Or can you even think about it? You're just going to celebrate.
Oh man, this is gonna be a celebrate week. I've been wanting to win another super late model race for God knows how long since we stopped running them. Lanier is gonna be interesting. I've never ran the late models there. I ran the old late models there, and I mean, I was decent there. Uh, it's gonna be interesting to see. I've got a lot to learn, no doubt. Um, it's gonna be a momentum track and keeping your rhythm together. But other than that, I mean, I'm gonna carry a lot of momentum, hopefully, into the next week and keep these good finishes rolling. Because recently, I mean, I feel like I'm starting to really get it again, which is what I really need right now. It was not a good start to the season.
All right, Colin. Well, congrats on a victory. Congrats on the uh, big mover, 12 spots from the back to the front. And congrats on giving us a thrilling, thrilling finish, man. Anybody you want to thank or anything, you go right ahead.
First of all, I want to thank Community Barbershop. My dad sponsored this race and I won it,
Oh,
so that
wow.
is a plus. So obviously, I thank my dad for sponsoring this race and supporting me. I mean, he came in the room as soon as I won it and congratulated me and was like, I mean, at least nobody else won the Community Barbershop 150. So definitely thanks to him. Thanks to my parents for letting me do this every night. Thanks to y'all for always broadcasting. I mean, I already went back and kind of looked at the finish, and I mean, just great commentating from y'all once again. Um, Want to thank the league. The league really has cleaned up recently. I mean, right there at the end, I mean, with the cautions and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to blame that all on them. It seemed like there was a lot of tension that was kind of going on towards the back of the pack, and they're still doing great though. These last two races have been really clean. It's been really the best two races so far this season, and I have enjoyed it. So definitely a shout out to them. But other than that, I mean, thank you for broadcasting.
All right, man. Colin Kennedy, your winner. I want to give a quick shout out to your dad there in the community barber shop and just thank them for coming on board and wish we could do even more for him. And make sure you go down and check him out and tell him Wind Tunnel TV sent you. I'm sure he'll give you an extra buzz cutter or something there.
Maybe that'll be the trophy.
That's
Free
what I would
haircut.
request if your dad's listening. If anybody comes in and says Wind Tunnel TV, that's an automatic buzz cut, whether they ask for it or not.
Yes, that's
Nonetheless.
perfect. I'd love that.
All right. Colin J. Kennedy, victorious here at North Wilkesboro. Unbelievable finish. One of the best we've ever seen. Just thrilling, thrilling stuff. Of course, we have the coverage every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, Lanier live, 9:20 p.m. They'll be in the late models. But for myself, Dean Doucette, and a big thank you to Randy McCanny, who had to get up and out of here. But great having him here in the booth, and a big shout out to him. But we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.